I'm Charles Morse. Happy to have you here on a Monday. Lovely weather we've been having. We've been needing some rain, and it's kind of been going that way just a little bit. I'm Charles Morse, and thank you for joining us here on the Journey 2020. You know, normally when you tune in, you're used to seeing Dr. Robinson, but Dr. Robinson has been on hiatus now for some weeks, and we want to, wish him well in his new endeavor. He moved into a new building, taking on some new ventures and blessing some other people, and God is blessing him. And he promised that he's going to come back sometime real soon. So with that, we have an exciting show, and we're blessed today because not only do we have someone, as you know, the one and only Mr. Vince Carter, who's been on the show from time to time, but we also have two special guests all the way from Vegas, and also a gentleman who played in the NFL for a very long time. And so with all the news that's going on in the NFL right now, and I'm going to ask Donnell Thomas, he doesn't know it, but I'm going to ask him to give us a little news update on what's been going on in the sports world today. But right now, I want to welcome, how you doing, Mr. Ray Hamilton? How you doing? Yeah. I met you a few weeks ago through Mr. James Harris.
That's correct.
And I met Mr. Harris.
That's the original Shaq.
Right. It's funny because when he called me, that's the first thing he said. I said, hello? He said, this is Shaq. And I was like, I know Shaq's mom, she'll be calling me, but I know Shaq won't be calling me. Then he said James Harris. I was like, hey, Mr. Harris.
The other guy just shortened his name. This is the real, he's James Harris is the real Shaq. He's the original Shaq.
He's the original Shaq. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I mean, I am so happy that, to have you here. And also, let me introduce Mr. Vince Carter and also Donnell Thomas from Let the Ball Bounce, a internet sports show out of Vegas. How you doing, Mr. Thomas, and how you doing, Mr. Vince Carter? Yeah? Come on now, talk to me. How you guys doing?
Good.
Okay, it looks like we're gonna have a little bit of a delay.
Yes. How you doing?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Vince?
Can you hear me, Vince? I can hear you.
All right.
I hear you.
All right. What about you, Mr. Thomas? Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yes, sir. I hear you.
All right. Before we talk to Ray Hamilton, I've been following you guys for a while there in Vegas. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your internet sports show?
Yeah, man. It's Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio, man. We've been at it. My partner and I, Andre Bailey, we've been at it for probably 6 years now together on 3 different radio stations here in the Las Vegas Valley, man. We're currently on WBKEVegasRadio.com. We go live every Saturday at 2 p.m. To 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's, of course, 5 p.m. on the East Coast, man. And we try to bring we give our motto is facts only. We give the facts, but we keep it live and try to keep it. We add a comedic side to our sports talk radio, man. So we've been very successful, man. And as you know, you're in our Facebook group, man. We have close to 3,000 members, and we have some very sports knowledge people, along with our female contingent, man. We have a lot of sports knowledgeable females in our group as well, man. So we just try to keep it live, man, and give the people what they want, man. And that's the sports talk radio.
All right. Well, I know Vince is trying to find a place where he can have a nice connection. So we're going to get back to him as soon as he can find either a Starbucks or a McDonald's. Ray Hamilton. Wow, man. I mean, when I was asking you about your bio, right? And when I went and then I Googled it. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I know this guy.
You had to Google me to find out that you knew me.
No, but I'm saying, wait a minute. I know this guy.
Yeah.
Won't you give us a little history of Mr. Hamilton and going back to, I want you to go back to junior high school when you first started, or when did you first started playing ball? And give us the whole thing about if you played baseball, basketball, if you ran track.
All right.
Give us the whole scoop.
All right. Well, I started playing sports by accident. I started playing football. I'm from Oklahoma City.
Right.
And I started playing sports. I was a decent-sized kid in the 8th and 9th grade, but I had a paper route. I had a paper route in the morning and in the afternoon, and the football coach kept after me about coming out for football. So finally in the 9th grade, I got someone to throw my afternoon route because that's when you practice. So, and I started playing football in the 9th grade.
Okay.
Played in high school, and I got a scholarship to go to the University of Oklahoma. Went there for 4 years, from 69 through 73. And I graduated in 73 and got drafted by the New England Patriots in 1973 and played football there for 9 years. Back then, there was really no such thing as movement as far as free agency goes. John Mackey really fought the NFL owners and started getting the free agency, and that was the forerunner to where it is right now.
Okay.
After I finished playing football, I went into private business for 3 or 4 years, but I really wanted to coach. So a guy who had been a position coach when I was there, Raymond Berry.
Oh, wow. The famous Raymond Berry.
That's him.
the Johnny Unitas to Berry. Oh,
that's him.
Wow.
That's the one. He was our receiver coach when I was playing for a couple of years, and he and I got to be friends. So he... in 1985, he got the Patriots head coaching position.
Right.
And I asked him, I told him I was interested in coaching and I'd like to give it a try. So he brought me in as an assistant defensive line coach in 1985, and I coached for 29 years.
Wow.
And I coached with the Patriots twice. I coached with the Jets twice. I coached with the Raiders when they were in L.A.,
right.
Tampa, Cleveland. I coached my last 2 teams. Was 5 years with Jacksonville and 6 years with Atlanta. And I retired.
I think Jacksonville needs you. I think you need to go back to Jacksonville.
Jacksonville needs players. So I stopped after the 2013 season. I retired and moved down here to Florida.
All right. Well, I think we have Mr. Vince Carter back. Mr. Carter, how you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm doing exceptionally well.
All right. Now, tell the people about Mr. Vince Carter, because you're no longer here in Orlando, because people are used to seeing us. They're used to seeing you where Ray Hamilton is, but you're no longer in the state. So won't you give us some information on where you are and how did you end up in the backwoods or wherever you are that you're trying to find some Wi-Fi?
I'm in the beautiful state of Tennessee, in the city of Brentwood, Tennessee. I'm currently coaching basketball and basketball at Brentwood High School. I made the decision after many years in Orlando and in the state of Florida that in my more mature years, I made the decision to have change. I went to Vegas. I couldn't find enough. I couldn't get what I wanted, so I could stay there, because you know what happened in Vegas, stay in Vegas, and I was trying to stay in Vegas. But I ended up here in Tennessee, and so far it's been a great experience, and I'm having a ball.
Now, while you were here, there was something that you was a part of that was very instrumental in the community, and you helped out a lot of people. Why don't you talk about Midnight Basketball for a minute?
Well, Midnight Basketball was a program that started back in 1991 with the intent to give young African-American men a place to go and fellowship in a safe environment. It started on Paramore, down in the old Davis Armory, which is currently known as Downtown Rec Center. And we had the opportunity to evolve 25 years of serving the communities. We had, at one time, we had 21 locations. We were in 4 counties. We were looking at about 2,000, 2,100 kids a weekend. And over the course of time, we've served somewhere close to over 100,000 kids, and we've given out about 25 to 30 scholarships. we really enjoyed that opportunity. It was pick-up basketball with rules, but from that, we were able to have a huge impact into the community. And I had the pleasure of being involved for almost 25 years.
All right, right. Well, I was kind of hurt and disappointed you left me, but that's all right though. You know, that's all right.
Well, you know, the decision to end the program was not mine. I somewhat fell victim to that, but I really am excited for your involvement and all the other cast members that were able to be a part to make the success. And Cincinnati Basketball Hall of Fame is still being talked about. I'm still getting calls wanting to know when is it going to take place. Are we going to move it back? What happens is they really look forward to doing grand things and all of the things that we did. So I'm very proud of it. And now we're going to see what we can do and do something different.
Okay. Mr. Hamilton.
Yes, sir.
The National Football League is probably one of the biggest money-making industries in the world. When you say Super Bowl, everybody just kind of stopped doing what they were doing and just want to go and see this big event.
Right.
For when you played, and no, actually, you know what? Let's go back to the first day of camp.
Okay.
And you left college. You were drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to that first day and tell us what that was like and how did you feel and how secure were you and when did you get to the point where you said, you know what, I can play in this league?
Well, I knew I could play in the league, but the first day of camp was it was a lot different than what it is now. First day of camp back, we kind of ease guys into camp now. First day of camp, you don't have on any pads. You do a couple of walkthroughs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Well, back then, camp was 2-a-days. We played 6 preseason games, and camp was practicing twice a day, full pads. Okay. And I knew that I was going to do whatever I had to do to make the team, and in order to do that, I had to, whenever you have drills, you have to try to jump in front because the veterans won't let you if they can stop you. And you had to try to jump in. You had to try to jump in line to go against the best guys.
Okay.
So that's what I.
When did you figure that out, though? Because I mean, if you're a rookie coming in,
well, we had
understanding the business aspect of
right.
it, and this, and they look at it as if though you're taking their money,
mm-hmm.
their paycheck,
mm-hmm.
and that whole
mm-hmm.
mentality.
Right.
When did you figure that out?
Well, I figured that out. We had a couple of mini camps
mm-hmm.
before you got there. And you talk to people and stuff like that, and you talk to coaches and things like that, and so they kind of let you know what's going on. And you have, in order to make the team, you have to do well in practice first, and you have to do well in meetings, and then you have to do well in preseason games in order to have a chance to make the teams. So every chance I got, I tried to go against the best guys that we had mm-hmm. on the offensive line. I was a defensive lineman, believe it or not.
Really?
But I tried to go against the best guys on the team, and I had a little bit of an edge because the head coach was Chuck Fairbanks, who was my head coach in college at Oklahoma.
Okay.
So I knew I would at least get a chance. What happened to a lot of guys when they come in, late draft picks of free agents, they're kind of like what we call camp guys, and they don't really get a chance to show their stuff as often as you may get a shot here and there. But with Chuck Fairbanks, I knew I would at least get a fair chance to show what I could do, and then you have it. Then after that, it's on your own.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And
but practice was brutal. We practiced twice a day, every day. There was no days off, stuff like that, and you got to the point where you had no idea whether it was Monday or Wednesday or Saturday. Because you did the same exact thing every single day. You get up in the morning, you have breakfast, you meet, you go practice. In between practices, you meet, take a nap, go back and practice again. At night, you have dinner and go to meetings all night, and you go to bed, and then you go to bed at 11 o'clock, bam. Next day, it's like Groundhog Day. The next day is exactly the same thing. So you really have no sense of timing at all, what time it is, what day it is, or any of that stuff.
Guys, if you have a question, you can come in anytime if you have a question now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now,
okay.
if you in playing, because I grew up, you know, my mom is what really got me into sports. She was the biggest Dallas Cowboy fan in the world. Okay, she loved her Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
She loved her Yankees. She loved her Knicks, and she loved Dr. J.
Wait a minute, that's a quite a distance in between New York and Dallas.
Right, but she was, well, and I asked her because for some odd reason she did not like Michael Jordan. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, you know, because I asked about Michael, and I said, "Mom, you like Michael Jordan?" And this is her exact words. She said, "No, I don't like Michael." I said, "Why?" He act like his poop don't stink. And so I said to her, I said, "Well, he can play, right?" And she kind of hesitated for a minute, and she went, "He all right." And then she said, Oscar Robinson and Dr. J is my man. I said, "Well, you know what, Mom, you can't go wrong with that." Because I knew she knew her players.
Right.
And I knew she knew her sports.
Right.
But she loved Mickey Mantle and Reggie Jackson and all of them.
Okay.
So she knew sports very well.
Right.
And on Sunday, it was just a tradition. After church, the game was on, and it's kind of weird to go into a house on a Sunday and don't see a football game on. That's weird. You know, that's weird in my world. But watching sports now is totally different than it is for me, because back then it was a situation where you actually wanted these players like you that you saw every Sunday. That was your heroes growing up. You wanted to invite these guys over for dinner and make them part of your family.
Right.
Now I'm not so sure that. Where my mind is, it's just like it's so different in the sports in the sense of, and maybe you'll understand that back then they were sports heroes. Now they're more like rock stars.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of our culture now.
Right.
And Vince or Donnell, you guys can, you know, speak on that if you want to. But it's just the whole, I guess, the dynamic of our culture now.
Yeah, it is.
And how it is, and it's more about the show and some of them, it's just kind of weird to me that you have to have a bodyguard to babysit a grown man. That I don't understand that concept.
You can't even go to McDonald's. But you know, back then, like you said, it's a lot different because, you know, when I was growing up, junior high and high school, watching NBA basketball, you knew who every center was for every team.
Right.
And now you don't know hardly any of these guys.
I live here in Orlando, and I can't tell you who plays for the Magic.
Exactly.
I don't. Like last year, I couldn't name two. I'm serious. I couldn't name two players on the team.
It wasn't just basketball. It's like boxing. Then you knew who all the boxers were. Now it's hard pressed for anyone to even know who the heavyweight champions of the world is. I don't even know that.
Right.
So people don't, you know,
no
it's just different now.
Right. Yeah. Somebody was going to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of chime in, man. It's Donnell Thomas, man. Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio. I just wanted to kind of, you know, switch gears just a little bit and ask Coach, you know, about, you know, with the state of the NFL the way it is now, and black coaches. You know, we have the introduction of the Rooney Rule, which, I mean, if you look at it in its entirety, there's loopholes into the Rooney Rule. For example, the Philadelphia Eagles not too long ago, just to fulfill the Rooney Rule, they interviewed Deuce Staley while he was there at the facility, didn't get a chance to even wash his behind. He was there in shorts and a T-shirt just to say they fulfilled the Rooney Rule. But I was having a conversation, you know, we chime in on our Facebook page, you know, every day, and I was having a conversation with, you know, another brother on the page, and it's just like we can play the game, but we can't teach it.
Yeah,
and I wanted to know, you know, your thoughts on that, you know, particular.
Okay. Well, the Rooney, you are right. There are holes in the Rooney Rule, and different, you know, teams use it for just that purpose. But the Rooney Rule fulfills two things. First of all, it's kind of like affirmative action. Black coaches weren't getting an opportunity to interview for jobs, and teams weren't interviewing them. So what it does, it makes teams interview coaches, first of all, which is what you mentioned about Deuce, and secondly, most of the time, coaches are hired on how well they come across in the interview. And if you never get a chance to interview, then you don't know what to expect, and you go in the interview and you bomb out. So a guy, now with the Rooney Rule, at least a guy gets a chance to go in and interview, and they know what kinds of questions and stuff to expect. And there's been coaches who've gotten jobs because of the Rooney Rule also. But the Rooney Rule still hasn't. There's nowhere near. The NFL is a microcosm of our society. There's only 5 black head coaches.
Right.
And college is worse. There's only 6 or 7 of 112.
And that's what I was going to say.
And
it's like any other place of trying to get a job or personal.
It is. It's just like that. And it's even worse with the upper management, presidents, vice presidents. We have no black owners in the NFL. So it's just it's kind of like America trying to get your foot in the door, and there's nowhere near enough ex-players coaching in the NFL.
Right.
There's a lot of book learned guys, a lot of buddies of head coaches. They get these positions, they bring their buddies in and stuff like that.
Right, which is what we do. Like for an example,
and that's one reason why the play has gone down, because you have some guys there that don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right, like for an example, Jeff Fisher, who was fired today, and he hasn't been successful in a very long time.
No.
For an example, Chip Kelly.
Yep.
And you're trying to figure out, okay, he didn't do well over here. Now he was hired over here, and I think he's worse than he was when he was in Philly.
Probably the same. We just had better players.
And so you ask the question.
But it's the coaching, Charles. It's the coaching carousel. You take bad coaches and just shift them from one place to another.
That's exactly right.
The Rooney Rule. It is in step 1. The prop.
Lost him.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You take a lot of bad coaches that keep getting. Just like
he had a good point going too.
You take a lot of.
Lost him again. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's exactly right. You take a lot of bad coaches and keep giving them, chances and chances and chances. Same thing is happening right now with.
Call them retread.
Same thing is happening right now with Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
Lane Kiffin was a head coach at the Raiders and screwed that up.
Classic.
He was a head coach at Tennessee and screwed that up. He's a head coach at Southern Cal, screwed that up, and now he's going to be the head coach at Florida Atlantic. He got that job today.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Same thing with guys like Norv Turner, guys like Chip Kelly.
Right.
Yep.
They keep hiring giving these same guys chances, and same thing with the guy at Kansas City now. Was at Philadelphia for all the years.
Right.
Andy Reid. Andy
Reid.
Yeah. They got Mike Mularkey. Mike Mularkey has had 3 jobs. He's at Tennessee.
Mike Mularkey. Oh God.
He was at the head coach at.
About him.
He was the head coach at Buffalo.
But you got a whole lot of coaches in all 3 of.
He was the head coach at Buffalo. He was the head coach at Jacksonville. Now he's the head coach at Tennessee.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So they get multiple chances that some of these guys just keep getting retreaded too.
Talk about the
Rex
grind.
Ryan too.
Yeah, talk about the everyday grind in the NFL. What is it like? First of all, year round while you're in the league as a player.
Right.
What is it like year round as a coach in the NFL?
Well, year round as a coach, first of all, during the season, it's a pretty good grind. Once training camp starts, then it's a pretty good grind because you're there. Sometimes, depending on what kind of a staff you're with, you could be there early morning, 6, 7 o'clock or sooner till midnight or more, depending on what kind of staff you're on. But during the season is that you play the game on Sunday, and then on Monday you come in and you critique the film. The players come in around noon or 1 o'clock, and you critique the film with them. and then you start working on the next opponent. As a coach, you start putting every coach contributes something to the game plan, as far as drawings and play and what's going to go into the game plan book. So if you're a defensive line coach like myself, I was in charge of the running game of the opponent, what kind of runs they ran, and also I was in charge of short yardage and goal line. The secondary coach is in charge of what kind of routes they run. The linebacker coach, same thing, the running game, what kind of routes they run. So you study those things on film, because all day Tuesday you meet as a defensive or offensive staff, and you put the game plan together, what you want to do against certain things. And and also on Tuesday because the players' day off is Tuesday. So the players come in for the next week. You start practicing on Wednesday. So you have to have all your stuff ready for practice on Wednesday. So players come in on Wednesday morning. You're back in there with the players on Wednesday morning. You present to them the game plan, what you're going to do here, what you're going to do there, and you go out and you practice for a couple of hours. And you have in the NFL, you have a lot more meetings than you do practicing. As in college, it's just the opposite. You probably practice a lot more. 'Cause practice isn't very physical in the NFL, because the whole concept in the NFL, you only have 47 players that dress on Sunday. You only have 53 players on the team. So the whole concept is to try to have your players well rested for Sunday. So practice isn't very physical in the NFL.
So what is the actual practice squad? When they say a practice squad, what is that?
Well, each team can have a practice squad. They can have anywhere from 5 to 8 players. These are guys who don't have any years playing in the league, or a certain amount of, it can be no more than, I think, 1 or 2 years playing in the league, 3 or 4 games a year. And those guys, you build your practice squad up based on where you're going to be short, because in college you have like 100 and something guys,
right,
and a lot of guys who don't play, they run the scout teams for you.
Okay.
Well, in the NFL, you have to run scout teams for each other. The offense for the defense, defense for the offense. So you try to most of the guys that do the scout team are the backups. So you try to make your scout team based on how many. If you have say 3 offensive linemen who are backups, then you may want to have 2 offensive linemen on your practice team.
Okay.
Okay, so that now you got 5 guys, so you can practice and stuff like that. So, but those guys make up that, and those guys make about those guys practice on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They don't play in the game, and they.
What is their salary like? What kind of money do they get?
They probably make about $65,000, $75,000 a year,
Okay.
if not more. The base salary for a rookie on the team, on the 53-man roster, was last time I checked, was $485,000 a year.
Okay.
That's for a drafted rookie. Now it depends on, that's the least they could pay you. Then it depends on how much you negotiate. But Wednesday you practice, same thing. You go back and do some more game planning on Wednesday night. Thursday you practice. You're pretty much done Thursday with game planning. So you're working on the next week's opponent. Friday is a short practice, really, really short, trying to get the guys' legs back. Saturday is just a walkthrough, and Sunday you play the game, and then you start the cycle all over again.
Donnell, you posted a little bit some news today. Somebody was arrested. Want you and I want to ask Ray a couple of questions about this right here that you're going to talk about real quick.
Arrested?
Wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, Michael Floyd, was arrested on DUI charges. Apparently, he fell asleep at the wheel on Monday morning. I'm not sure where he was coming from or going to, but Phoenix police cited him for driving under the influence
And
on Monday morning, early Monday morning.
former basketball player as well.
Yes, that was who was that?
The guard.
That was yes.
He used to play for
It's
Houston.
escaping me right now.
What's his name?
Yeah, he played for
He Played for Houston.
Steve Francis. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Steve Francis.
Yeah, Steve.
Steve Francis.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. He was actually he turned himself in on a felony burglary charge. Turned himself in.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's sad, especially with our young black men getting involved in these types of things, man. It really saddens me. It really saddens my heart, that we have to talk about this stuff when it's involving us. It's really, really sad to me, man.
And the reason why I wanted him to tell that story was my question when it comes to that itself, sports, because of how big it is and the money that's involved. And we kind of understand some of it, but from your own experience, from the players that you've seen and how they fall through, through the pitfalls, and I think one of the most well documents that I've seen on ESPN was called Broke. Is it Broke? It was great.
On 30-30?
Yeah,
Yes.
30-30.
Yeah, 30 for 30.
Yeah. That was a great documentary. And
Oh, that's the one with Freddie Taylor and those guys? No, not
the brother. Is it Sears?
Yeah, Andre Rison was a part of it.
Oh, okay, yeah. No,
several
that
other
was the
players,
earlier
right?
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. This
Yeah.
one. They went through an array of a lot of athletes, and they
I've
talk
heard about
about
Yes.
Yeah.
and they talk about all this stuff that coming, at them. And one of the brothers said he was paying for like 30 cell phones.
Yeah, for family and stuff.
Unbelievable.
Family and
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the demands on the players, and the players. The NFL has a symposium every year for the drafted players, and it's like 3 or 4 days. A lot of ex-players come in. The ex-players who've had DUIs, who've been involved in drugs, who've been ripped off by businesses, and they come in and they try to tell these guys all the stuff that they need to know to try to stay out of that. And teams in every year in training camp, 2 or 3 times, have financial guys come in and talk to them, have police come in and talk to them about domestic violence. That's a very big issue, and to try to make them aware of what goes on. I think the players themselves just have to, especially black players, have to understand. I've heard guys say that they're not role models. Well, that's bull. Yes, they are role models.
Yeah,
and especially with black players, that you have to have that mentality. Yeah, you don't want to be bothered all the time by people. I understand that too, but still, you're a role model. And I've heard guys say, and plus nowadays the big factor is that everyone has cell phones.
Right.
So no matter what you're doing. And people, all these reality shows, people are all nosy now. It's not just enough to know who a player's name and number. They want to know every aspect of a player's life, not just players, entertainers, everybody. And of course these guys have these Facebook accounts where you're constantly talking about what you're doing. That's how the girl got robbed in France. One of the
the Kardashians.
Yeah, Kardashian girl. So people want to know every aspect of your life, and these guys sometimes get into that also, and they have to realize that they are role models, and they have to, doing bad drugs and drinking and domestic violence and DUIs, they have to have a better sense of reality about that, because that's just, you can't go out to a nightclub and drink a beer without somebody putting it on YouTube.
Well, things are different now.
But you got to look at it.
Okay.
Charles,
Yeah.
Charles, wait a minute. We can't let them off that easy.
What do you say? Can you turn
This
it
is not just an NFL, NBA problem. This is something that starts way back in high school and in AAU ball when you start getting preferential treatment because this player helps you get the victory that you're looking for. It permeates all the way up. To sit down in the classroom and say, don't do it after he's been doing it 17 years, you're fooling yourself if you think you're having an impact. That's a Band-Aid. That's a way to say, oh, yeah, well, we talked to him about it. No, that's foolishness in my mind. You
No
pay
doubt
a
about
kid
it.
who can't even balance a checkbook more money than he's seen in his entire life, and you think he's gonna be responsible? Then you're an idiot if you think that.
No doubt about it.
So I look at it as being it's a coaching situation, it's a family, it's how we recruit, it's how we teach, and it's how we coach. Not at the NFL level, but how we coach at the YBOA level, the AAU level, and what. So then when we see this on this side, we got documentary after documentary how they're doing so poorly, but nobody talks about the challenges of trying to make this kid productive. So what are we going to do? What are we going to change? Because this repeats itself over and over and over and over again.
Did you see the one
How
about
we going to change?
Did you see the one by Dexter Manley? Did you see that? He couldn't even read. He couldn't even read.
Right.
He couldn't even read. Dexter Manley couldn't even read.
I mean,
But he got through high school. He got through college.
I'm looking at it right now in high school ball. I got high school players who can't aim.
I
But he
know.
can shoot that ball.
I know.
He can duck behind his head, but he couldn't. If I put his names in neon lights, he couldn't see it. He wouldn't know what it is. But they're passing him along because he gets. There's a kid that I know I coached in high school who's now playing college ball, D3 ball. It's
Well,
still D3 ball.
Part
I'm
of
amazed.
part of the problem is that, as you know, a lot of black kids, a lot of black people are in poverty, and a lot of them see professional sports as their way out, and a lot of times their parents are the same way. The parents want them to quit school and go play pro also. So that's in reality, you have a better chance of being an engineer or a doctor. A lot of other professions besides being a professional athlete, you have a better chance of making it in those careers. But that's not what they see.
Now that's the reality of what we're talking about. Because to be that elite professional athlete in any sport, that's a small number.
Yeah.
It looks large because we see these 45-member teams and all that. It looks like it's huge, but it's very small numbers. And nobody's really telling that shit. I can tell you in my own personal career so far how many kids I've seen who can play some serious basketball but couldn't go no further than the neighborhood.
No.
Not necessarily because of their athletic ability, but because they're intellect. They're not socially aware. And they're living a dream that they don't know how the dream became a reality.
Hey, Vince.
Yeah.
Now you yourself, you've come through, you've coached a number of years. It has not been easy. I'm sure you can attest to that. The hard work you had to put in. Nobody's going to put that on 30 for 30.
Right.
Nobody's going to put the time that you had to put in to become the coach that you are. That's the real dream that we're not telling.
No, exactly right.
This thing looks so easy.
Yeah.
Hey,
It looks too easy.
Vince, won't you talk about your conversations that you're having with the NFL coaches, the college coaches, and the coaches in the NFL when you're talking about the players, their preparation, and their IQ now?
Or you talking about the NBA?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I stay away from the NFL. I don't know too much about that. But having gone up to the PIT, the Portsmouth Invitational, where you got all of your NFL, NBA players, coaches, scouts, overseas scouts. But it's interesting to talk to the team scouts that talk about how they're evaluating kids. A lot of kids say, "Well, I went out and I had 15 points." They're not looking at that. They're looking at character. They're looking at your social history. What is this kid coachable? I was sitting next to a scout from the Knicks. They were looking at a kid who they were real high on from a statistical standpoint, from a social standpoint. Nobody wanted it. Why? They watched the way he acted on the bench when he came out. If you made a mistake, he stopped.
Wow. Yeah.
Playing. I'm not going to walk up and down the court. So those are the key points that nobody's telling these kids. You can average a triple-double or triple, whatever it is that you want to get, but that in the end game is not what's going to make you make the team. I'll give you an example, and this is probably not the best example, but I go to every year I go to PIT, I pick out my 10 top players. And based on statistics, based on what I watch them play and the games and so on and so forth. I've been going for 7 years. Only one guy made it to the NBA Combine. And one of the scouts I went to, and I said, "Listen, man, this kid's got X. Have you seen the game?" He said, "Oh yeah, it's like a great game. The kid's an idiot." I got Indians. I already got a team full of Indians. I don't need to hire. I don't need to hire and buy another Indian. You know, and this kid was heartbroken because he thought that he could make, and from a pure play standpoint, yeah, this kid was good enough to go. But he had all of this baggage socially that these people, and people don't think that these people pay attention to this, but they do. And they're talking about character. They're talking about behavior, work ethic. How does he coexist with other players? Family issues. How do they get along in their family? Who, you know, all of the, and this, nobody's telling these kids this stuff. Nobody's talking about that. And to be honest with you, I was shocked to know it was that in depth. I truly thought to a point, we were talking about skill, basketball IQ. Yes, but that is not as high on the list as we think it is. And that's why you see a number. Here's my best example, and I saw this for myself. They had they had a tryout. They were only going to take on this traveling team, the NBA team, to play in the summer. They're only going to take 20 kids. They had 800 kids show up.
800.
The guy said, please understand, I'm not taking 19. I'm not taking 21. I'm taking 20 kids. 800 people left their jobs, took vacation, paid money to go out to get 20 spots. I mean, listen to the numbers. I'm only taking 20. You talking about living a dream? These people coming from all over the haven't played no ball in 6 years, but they're gonna go out and try it because they believe that dream. Now, well, here's the second part of that.
In the NFL, we used to call
part about when you make the team. When you make the team, you got to stay there. You made the team. The dream. That's not the end of the dream. Yeah. Longevity. You know. So if I get cut, who gonna pick me up? I mean, so I played in the NBA. I can tell you, Donnell, I played in the NBA for 3 years. So why didn't play for? Because when nobody picked me up on the 4th year. So what kind of career have you actually had? So is that the dream? Is the dream just to get there? I thought the dream was to get there, stay there, and get that money to the Larry Birds and the Magic Johnsons and all these other people. I thought that's the dream. Did I miss that?
I know you guys. I know you guys know it already, but I always tell kids, you know, if your dream is to play in the NBA, I mean that's the hardest dream of all. It's only 12. There's only 12 guys on the team.
The least amount of people.
And most teams only play with about 7 or 8 guys. They've got about 4 guys on the end of the bench that if you saw them playing somewhere, you say, damn, that guy's good. But guess what? He can't even get in the game.
Right. And see, now,
that's the worst team to try to make as an NBA team.
Right. That's true.
Now, because, you know, I went to college on a basketball scholarship. Okay, so I played basketball, right? So now that I'm older, when I talk to kids, you know what I tell them?
What?
I said if I had to do it all over again, you know what sport I would play? I would play baseball.
Baseball, absolutely.
Yeah, baseball.
No question. It's not even a debate.
It doesn't require the skill.
Absolutely.
No, seriously.
I wasn't smart enough.
It doesn't require the skill of the basketball.
No
it
doubt about
doesn't have the physical part of the football.
No.
And you get to play longer, and it doesn't have the wear and tear on your body.
You get to play in good weather all the time.
And you get to make the money just as well.
Yeah.
But baseball is the game to play.
Yeah, you make some good money.
It is.
More.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you make some
You're going to make the money more in baseball.
Yeah. I would have been smarter.
Yeah. But
I would have been a lot smarter if I played a little baseball.
But you know, you have. But you know, the thing you were saying earlier about the kids is, you know, it starts with the parents too. A lot of the parents push these kids into sports and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well,
and
trust me, in our coaching, and he can tell you that, because even when I was coaching, because I mean, Vince and I, we joke because I coach girls. And he said, no, I wouldn't do it. The reason why I coach girls is because I grew up old school.
Right.
So old school, I can't deal with the knuckleheads. I need somebody that can listen, because I'm used to.
And their parents, probably.
Right. Well, see, I never had a problem with the parents. Luckily, I never had a problem with the parents. But I like teaching. Right. I like teaching because I'm saying I'm trying to help you get a free education.
Right.
Don't care about this other stuff. I want you to learn the game.
Right.
Okay. So he teases me about I can't do the girls thing because they listen.
Right. I know it.
They
But most,
listen.
you know, you know, all kids coming out of high school now, whether they get a basketball scholarship or a football scholarship, all these kids that are going into college, especially Division I colleges, they think they're going to be in the NBA.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They think they're going to be in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Or the NFL.
Right.
They're crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're crazy.
Yes, they are.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I was.
I think the girls are more fundamentally sound than the boys, in my
There's no
opinion,
question.
when it comes to baskmuch
Most sports,
much more fundamentally
basketball,
sound.
golf.
Well, that's why I said that I like the
Everything.
coaching.
One of the major drawbacks that you see in high school girls basketball, you take this UConn. Now, UConn, in my opinion, is a
Yes,
unique
sir.
situation. He got the toughest girls in the country, all on one team. Okay, and that's
Yeah.
unusual.
Yeah.
That really doesn't happen that well. But I agree with you. I've gotten to the point now where I watch a lot of girls basketball because it's so fundamental. But it's becoming
Fundamental.
athletic now. It's
Mhm.
still fundamental, but it's a lot more athleticism involved. But it's still fun, and
Yeah.
they enjoy playing.
Yeah.
They
Mo-
still enjoy
Yes,
playing.
they do.
Most women's sports are more
Yep.
fundamentally sound than men. The
Right.
basketball, golf,
Right.
women's tennis. You know, they're all more fundamental than men.
Yes.
Right.
The men just try to pound the ball.
let me
Yeah.
take you back because I want you to kind of tell me how did you adapt to the New England area, the Boston area, because let me.
It was strange.
Oh,
That's
boy.
why. You see, that's why I want you to talk
Oh
about.
boy.
When I was up there,
Man.
you know, here I am. I'm from the South. You know, I'm originally from Jacksonville, so I'm up in Boston. Brothers got me.
Roxbury.
That's where I was. That's why I was trying to think of the park where I went to play. That it was in Roxbury, Washington Park in
Roxbury, yeah, right there,
yeah,
on,
Roxbury.
right there,
That's what I was trying to
right
think
there on
of.
Blue Hill Avenue.
Yeah. So the brothers got me together and said, "Come on, man. Let me explain something to you. You do not go to South Boston.
Yeah.
You do not go to South
In the
Boston."
'70s, that's where all
Right.
the busing stuff
Right.
started.
Yeah. So they was explaining to me, because my grandfather's from there, and even Martin Luther King said, I done been in the backwoods of Alabama, and I haven't seen what I've seen up here in the Boston area.
Yeah.
Because that was the one thing
Wow.
that I saw right away. I grew up where when there was a problem between blacks and whites, the whites tried not to have conflict. When I was up in Boston, they couldn't wait for some conflict. I
Yeah.
wasn't used to that.
Yeah.
They're engaging you.
Well, on their side of the tracks in South Boston.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
That's-
that was one of the things
right.
that I did notice. Now the brothers always, you know,
Right.
but
The
they
thing
let
about-
me know you do not go to South Boston
Right.
by
The
yourself.
thing about Boston, South Boston, mostly Irish.
Right. Okay.
And the Irish have been Boston
Yeah.
have been discriminated against, just like we are. They used to have ads back in the 40s and 50s for they put in the paper an ad for a job, and they put the initials Nina, N-I-N-A, no Irish need apply. So they were discriminated against just like we were.
Right.
And so when
Wow.
it came to obviously they thought they were better than us, obviously. So when it came to the busing stuff, then they weren't gonna be just get kicked out again. That's just my own personal opinion as to why they were so confrontational with that.
Right.
But they were no more confrontational than down south when they tried to integrate the schools and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's just up north you didn't think that was going to happen in Boston, Chicago, Philadelphia, but it happened up there also.
All right. Go back. Let me ask you the questions about the preparation and what is it like during playoff time? How is it different in the locker room?
Oh, yeah.
Is it, what is it like playoff time? Because one of the things that I do like about the playoff is that somehow or another you just get a little extra.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and then you kind of roll over a little bit more and you kind of put a little bit more.
Yeah. You don't do
Especially on the quarterback,
Yeah.
you just kind of like.
Well, I think when you're in the playoffs in the NFL, you guys know the same thing in basketball. You feel a big air of accomplishment and you feel like you have more confidence because now in during the season every team is playing. So you get to the playoffs, you go now. We're one of only 12 teams still playing.
Right.
Rest of them are gone home. So that gives you some more confidence right there. And now it's a deal where in the NFL there's not like in the NBA where you play a 7-game series. In the NFL, you lose one game and you're gone.
You're done.
So it's more of a sense of urgency, more of a sense to get it right, and the confidence that you are. And each game you win, you feel more confident, and plus you get more money.
Right. Okay.
So the longer you stay in, the more money you get.
Okay.
So like if you just to make the playoffs, each team gets like $20,000. If you win that first game, for the next game you get like $35,000. So eventually, if you can win the Super Bowl, each team you're getting about 190 grand extra over and above your salary. So for coaches. Yep. That's real big.
Oh, okay.
and that's what I know they were talking about. They were talking about coaches, passing guys through. In the NFL, you have a little bit of that, but most of the time in the NFL, you don't have as much ass kissing because if you guys don't do well, then the coach is fired. So if a coach goes into a meeting saying this guy can play, and this guy can't play, then he's going to be the one that gets fired.
Right.
Simple as that. So I tell my guys, the ass kissing is over with. If you can't play, I'm going to do what I can to get your ass out of here.
Right.
Because I ain't going to lose my job because you can't play. If the other guys are doing the same kind of stuff.
And now, just to switch that over, just in you guys understand this. What I try to do over the years is that I try to explain to parents about when these kids are going off to college because that's a job.
Yeah, but see, it's not this. In college, they have to keep you.
No.
In the NFL, you don't play. We don't have to keep you. You're gone.
No, but this is what I'm trying to say.
And in the NBA, too.
Right, but this is what I'm trying to say. The kids think that it's a fun thing now. And what I try to get them to understand is that if that coach don't win, he's gone.
Yeah, but you're still going to be there 4 years on a scholarship.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
No.
I didn't know that.
No, not necessarily now.
No.
Okay, all right, I didn't know that.
No. They can. I got a friend who went to Stetson, and the mom was mad because they said no, we don't want you no more.
So if a kid gets a scholarship to a school,
Charles,
they can take a scholarship.
Yeah.
It just happened at UCL.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they can.
Well, I didn't know that.
New coach came in and sent kids home.
How often does that happen?
I had a friend right here in Vegas. His scholarship got taken away from him. He went to the University of Tennessee.
Okay, how often does that happen, though? How often does that happen?
It's kind of based on what you're talking about. If you can't help me,
yeah, but they got a lot of kids in college that's never going to play a down the ball.
Right. But I'm saying, see, it's kind of like there's certain players that are there that are to be practice players.
Right.
Then there's certain players that they know that's going to play.
Right.
So if you don't fit into the mold, or let's just say you an attitude problem, you gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Oh yeah.
Well, good. But in the NFL,
that's why you recruit, though.
What do you say?
Recruit. They recruit each year,
right?
So that they can replace players, especially when you change coaches and he
right.
comes.
So basically, how often would you say that happened that a school takes a scholarship from a guy? One or two guys a year or something?
Probably something like that. Now I don't know about the football, but I definitely know about the basketball.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah. They will take your scholarship if they find out like no, you ain't.
Plus you got the grade factor also.
Right.
Well, see, in the NFL, there's no grade factor. There's no school. That's all you have to do is play football. But in the NFL, there's no school. There's no other job. There's just you. And the NFL, like you said, the NFL is a huge money-making machine.
Right.
And for the first time in a lot of these guys' lives, they're going into football where football doesn't need them.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Now, in high school, they needed you. In college, they needed you. But in the NFL, they don't need you. if you want to, if you're the number one pick in the whole draft, and you don't want to sign, keep. They're gonna keep on moving. They don't care.
Yeah, but that's kind of how it is in college too, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Trust me, and that's one of the problems, and that's why I said what I said, because a lot of times when these kids leave from high school and then they go to college, they find out that they on the bench now.
Yeah.
They're not used to that.
Yeah.
Now they got attitude problem and they don't know how to deal with the adversity that comes with getting off the bench because of the attitudes. Then they don't have the work ethic to say this is what I need to do to show the coach who I am.
That's part of the ass kissing deal. If they've had their asses kissed all through high school and junior high school,
right.
And now we get to college. Now these same thing. The coaches in college are trying to win the damn national championship.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And if this guy, if you don't know how to get your mind right so you can compete for a job,
there you go.
Then you're in trouble.
And that's what I'm saying, that you try to get them to understand this is a job.
Right.
When they go off. Because now they think, well, I get to go play basketball in college, and it's a total different game, just like it is from high school to college, from college to the pros.
Right.
It's just another level that you as you go through, because it's a business.
I think the NFL is more. You're right. I think the NFL is. I didn't know that about college, but the NFL is just more singular.
Right.
It's just there's no other outside stuff. There's no classes, stuff like that. There's no scholarships. It's just bam. It's just you in football. Yeah. I think, but I didn't know that. But that's the way it should be.
How often with the guys, and I can speak from the college standpoint, but how often or what is the percentage that guys just don't like each other when they're teammates in the NFL?
I think there's a pretty good percent. I don't know if there's a real good percentage. Most guys do like each other, but I would say there's probably a small percentage of guys who don't like each other.
Right.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. You still have to play together.
Yeah. Because trust me, even in college, we didn't like each other, but once that ball threw up, we buddy. Come on.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I don't think it's a large percentage, but I would think that there are guys that don't like each other.
Have you seen them take it off the field?
I have not seen anybody fight.
I meant
like fights and stuff
from one team from one player from another team that don't like each other. The game's over. And fighting after the meet you in the parking lot deal. Yeah, that kind of thing.
I have not seen
like in the club.
Yeah, no,
somewhere else.
Yeah, I have not. Now, probably it happens, but I have not seen it myself. I have not personally seen it, but I'm pretty sure it happens though.
Yeah.
Just like this thing going on right now with Harry Douglas and the guy from Denver, Talib. Harry Douglas cut him yesterday, and he already told him he's going to beat his ass if he see him in the street.
But did you see that?
It was a dirty play.
Yeah, Harry's crazy. It's a dirty play.
Right. Yeah.
He went to cut the guy's knees.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and that
I was with Harry, and Harry was our receiver in in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He's a little different. he's a little different. The reason why Harry's there because our receiver coach Terry Robisky, who played in the league for a long time, he's the offensive coordinator at Tennessee.
Right. So what is it that you miss in the coaching?
I miss the games on Sunday.
All right.
Yeah, I mean I like the game planning during the week, but on Sunday when they're doing something that you didn't think they was going to do, now can you adjust to it? I like making adjustments on Sunday. I kind of miss that and the competition of doing that.
Right. I asked you about the playoffs and how it changes, but how does it change when you can just focus on that one team that's coming up? How does the preparation change?
It doesn't. It's the same thing every week. Yeah, because we just focus on one team. A lot of times in coaching, we have no idea who we're playing 3 or 4 weeks down the road.
No. I meant once you have made the
playoffs.
Right. And
now it's still just a one-focused team.
Right.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is that in the playoffs, sometimes it becomes more than a one-focused team because as you go into the playoffs, you don't know who you're going to be playing next. Right. Say they have 2 teams are playing each other. So you really have to prepare. It's a little bit more work because you have to prepare for both teams a little bit. Okay. Because you don't know which one is going to win. So you already won your game. Now you're playing the winner of the next game. So now you have to prepare for 2 teams
Okay,
until they play.
let me see if I can ask this question right. Because on that level, guys are usually really good. But is there sometimes a player that you know his true weakness?
Oh, we know all that. Yeah. Yeah, when you're doing a scouting report and you're watching film, just like anything else, NBA, whatever, every team does something good. Some teams do things very good. So your question is, okay, why? Say for instance, we're on defense. We're asking, okay, why is this offense good? Could be offense because Russell Wilson throws the ball to the big tight end they got from New Orleans.
Right.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham. Okay, so we say these
Jimmy
guys
Graham.
score a lot of points because Russell Wilson looks for Jimmy Graham a lot.
Okay.
Okay, just like when you play in basketball, you play in Chicago back in the day, you say, well, Michael Jordan shoots a lot.
Right.
Well, you always focus on what they do best, and you want to take that away first.
Okay.
So we can say, hey, we're going to double team Jimmy Graham. Russell Wilson likes to get out of the pocket to his left or to his right. We're going to make sure he does. If he gets out of the pocket to his left, we're going to make him go right.
Okay.
So whatever they do best, you analyze it. Like Tom Brady wants to throw the ball to Gronkowski. So we've got to take away Gronkowski. So make Brady make him go somewhere else. So whenever you're doing the scouting report, every team, no matter how good they are, they do something good. And you first on defense, you want to stop what they do good. On offense, same thing. If you're scouting the team's defense, you're going to say, well, somebody's a great pass rusher. We got to make sure that he doesn't kill our quarterback. We're going to double team him. Stuff like that.
What makes New England consistently so good?
They've had the same system for ages and ages with the same quarterback.
Bill Belichick.
Tom Brady. Same system. Just like we're saying, a lot of these teams go from fire coaches, get another one in, fire coaches every 2 or 3 years, get another one in. Players don't get a chance to work under the same system for very long. And by the time they learn it, now someone new comes in, put a different system in. Change teams, change players, all that stuff. Belichick and Brady have been together for a long, long time. Same thing with New Orleans and Sean Payton. Same thing with those guys. Just like Marvin Lewis and the guy, his quarterback. So guys that have been together for a long time, they know the system. Just like back in the day when San Francisco had Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Right. And they knew the system. They knew exactly where everybody was going to be. Same system every single year. Bill Walsh, bing, bing, bing. That's it. And it's not in football. Is not a lot of times. It's not about you doing something to win the game. Is you doing something to not lose it. Right. And you do the same thing over and over and over. And one time those guys aren't going to be in the right spot. Bam, you hit a touchdown. You're doing the same things, but they're doing something different. They make a mistake. So Belichick and Brady's a very good quarterback. Belichick has been in the same system forever. They know each other. They know what's going on, and it works.
All right, guys, we got to get out of here. You got one last question for him? Any one last question?
Oh, I'm good, man. It's just an honor, man, to be on the panel, man, with such sports knowledge, man, and I just appreciate you having me on, Charles, man, big time.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you about what we talked about with Vince, and hopefully, when. So hold on a second there. All right. Well, Vince, question.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking everybody this: who's gonna win the Super Bowl?
Cowboy.
Okay. Mr. Thomas.
I'm not sold on two. I'm not sold on two rookies leading the entire team through the playoffs. I'm not sold on that. I mean, they're playing well, but I'm not sold on two rookies doing that. I'll never bet against Tom Brady. I never bet against Tom Brady ever again in my life. I don't care if he doesn't have Rob Gronkowski. I don't care.
Wait a minute.
I'll never bet against him ever again.
Yeah, but see that last Super Bowl that they won, you should go and thank the Seattle coaching staff for that one.
The offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that one there. So yeah. Who won the Super Bowl?
The Raiders.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yes.
I'm just guessing like everybody else. We don't know any more than anybody else knows.
No, but you know who's surprising me right now?
Who?
Tampa Bay. Tampa
Yeah.
Bay is really surprising me.
They
'cause
won 5 in a row.
Yeah, because they're looking,
Now they go to Dallas this week.
because they play that grinded, ugly.
Yes, they are.
That ugly. Don't
They-
know what's gonna happen.
They play the Cowboys this week.
It's, you know,
We ready for them. We mad.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out for being on the show. Guys. So thank you very, very, very much.
Our pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
And Mr. Hamilton, right? Mr. Hamilton, I want to ask you. I would like I've been trying to get James Harris to come on the show.
Why isn't he coming?
Every time I ask him to come on the show, he gives me an answer, but he doesn't give me an answer. Remember, Vince? Because I've been trying to get him to come on the show, right, Vince? Right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell him I came by, so maybe he'll come by.
No, but I want to do a show in February for Black History Month.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, because I want you guys to come on, and we're gonna talk about some other stuff,
Yeah.
and for Black History Month, and
Yeah.
I can talk about what it was like as a little kid, looking at there was a black man at quarterback in the NFL. Man, oh boy, how awesome that was! You
I know.
what that meant to us
Yeah.
as a whole, and
Yeah.
all of that, and just want to talk about you as a person of color in the NFL, what it meant for you, your family, that first phone call you made, and and
Yeah.
you know. But yeah,
Okay.
Well, thank
Well,
you
good.
so very much, and I really appreciate it, man. And,
Okay. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
and man, I forgot to tell you real quick before we leave. Why don't you tell what you did, a few weeks ago? For the ladies to know.
Oh,
that-
my wife turned 60 years old,
right?
and I surprised her with a 60th birthday party. I flew in town. Three of her closest friends, her sister and two friends. They've been friends for over 30 years, 40 years, and she hadn't seen one of them for almost 10 years.
Right. Yeah.
So we had a surprise party, and I flew them in, and I gave them obviously I gave them a spa day the next day. We went to the comedy club, went to breakfast the next morning. So it's like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning deal, and they left Sunday afternoon.
Right. You see,
Yeah.
and she had no clue.
No,
walked
she
in,
had
no clue.
She had no. We told her we were going to an NFL concussion meeting, and they wanted the wives to be there too.
Right. Oh, that's funny. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Once again, want to thank everybody for coming on the show. I'm Charles Morse, and thank you for watching the Journey 2020. And we'll be back next week, same time, 7 p.m. right here on thejourney2020.com.